Oh,
What's going on, y'all? It's Friday. We got the good vibes. We got my man Bobby in the house. It's the awesome show. Reminisce over you. I got the Cali hat on, so I'm on my West Coast vibe. There you go. Hey guys, welcome to the awesome show. It's an amazing time for the awesome show. I just want to say thank you to everybody who supported the awesome show and also the Ben and Jay show with my brother, my man, the host. I'm the co-host, Ben Hartraff, and you can check us out on that every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. But enough of that. We don't want to take away from this man right here. This man right here, I'm telling you, it's an interview that you'll never forget. All right. So welcome to the awesome show. Today's guest is a man who I've had the pleasure of interviewing before on the Ben and Jay show. Today we have him here to speak on that one-on-one, that personal, that really deep down on who he is as a man, not what he does, but who he is as a man and also as an awesome father. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Bobby Rubio. Bobby is the writer, director of the Pixar short Spark film Float. That's a lot to capture in. But if you ever see Float, this is the guy right here who is responsible for it. He's amazing. So everybody, please welcome Bobby Rubio. Bobby, you really don't know how much I've been looking forward to this interview for the past 2 weeks, man. Like, I just sat there and just thought about our last conversation with Erica Milson. Shout out to Erica, what's going on? And I was like, yo, I got to get Bobby on the show. And, we went through the necessary hoops and the channels, and we're making it happen. So I just want to say thank you, brother. Thank you for taking the time out. And thank you for being here, man.
Oh, thanks, Jay, for having me. I felt like we were kindred spirits when we talked because we're both fathers of autistic sons. And I forget, is your son's name is Alex as well, or?
No, his name is Shane.
Oh, Shane. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But
definitely.
We definitely been through it, and you could tell.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you look at someone else, you know.
Definitely.
So, yeah, thank you for having me, and hopefully we can help some people, other fathers out there who are going through what we went through, and let them know that they're not alone.
Exactly. So, the main focus of the awesome show is to speak to the community and hold both men or women, but most importantly, the fathers. Just as Bobby said, we've been through it. We went through the ringer, and we've come out stronger, and we're still learning. So, our purpose, my purpose is to basically love on you guys, give you, informative guests, their stories, a little bit about them and how they overcome that. And hopefully that would just empower somebody to just not give up, because just like Bobby said, too often we feel like we're alone, and we're really not. We're just in the world, So we're trying to locate. It's like, where's Waldo of the world? We're just trying to locate where the Waldos are at,
Yeah.
So definitely, Bobby, going to get into this. The first question, man, just thank you for being here today. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are as a person in your childhood?
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about this because you sent me the questions earlier, and I was like, who am I? And it's interesting because, you also get, like, how do you nail that down? It's almost like when you ask when somebody describes your son, like, who is he? Like, I mean, he's a lot of things, So he's a funny guy, he's a cool guy, he's interesting. Like, I feel like with me, like, I'm trying to nail it down. Like, okay, I guess I'm an artist I think of myself as an artist. I think of myself as a filmmaker, comic artist, creator. I think of myself as being Filipino American.
There you go.
San Diegan.
Okay.
San Diego Charger fan.
We're not going to hold that against you. We're Eagles, but we're not going to hold that against you.
But when they were in San Diego, so, come on, give me. So I'm still a little dealing with that, but that's what we all do. I mean, you don't have to deal with not winning any Super Bowls because you know how it is. I'm still waiting, man.
Hey, listen, we're gonna be definitely waiting around for a while. We definitely are. So don't worry about
At
that.
least you got a ring, man. At least
Oh
you
yeah,
got
at least we got a ring, man. But listen, it took a couple years, man. It's like I-95, man. It takes a long time. We're waiting on 95 over here to get finished, so we can have 4 or 5 lanes. Do it like California does it. But I don't know. Maybe
I'm
it'll
from
happen.
San
Maybe it
Diego,
won't.
so I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting.
Well,
Anyways,
I
so
can't.
that leads into where I grew up. I grew up
Okay.
in San Diego. I grew up in San Diego.
Hmm.
Uh, I love football. As I said, the Chargers. I love the Padres. Growing up, just loving sports. I had my own BMX bike. I used to like go jumping down the canyon, and I had a Huffy though, so I didn't have the nice
Okay.
one.
Okay.
and but I drew a lot when I was a little kid. I just liked drawing. I really liked I liked comic strips. I liked Calvin and Hobbes,
Okay.
and I wanted to be like Bill Watterson, and I drew my own comic strips, and then later on when I was in junior high school, I picked up a comic book. Picked up Spider-Man, X-Men, and I was hooked. I became a big comic book nerd. I nerded out on all that, and then cartoons were introduced. I grew up watching Robotech, Thundercats, GI Joe,
There you go.
Transformers.
Yo, you naming the classics here. A lot of people don't
Yeah,
really know about that.
yeah. So that's when I grew up on that on Japanese animation, but then when it was time to go to college, I wanted to go actually at the East Coast. I wanted to go to New York. There's a
Okay.
comic book. Uh, uh, it's called Joe Kubert School, and I wanted to
Hmm.
go there, but my mom wouldn't let me. She was like, "No, you're staying in California." So I went to California Institute of the Arts, and that's it. I went to Cal Arts and for animation. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, that's pretty much my uh, 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 my upbringing. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
See, now Bobby's being a little modest because I know it's probably just a more fascinating. I mean, his story, his life is definitely fascinating, but it's a little bit more. But we're going to get into that in a
Okay.
little bit. So it goes into my next question, and you kind of touched on it in a little bit. Was being a writer, director, or artist
Mhm.
always a dream of yours, or was there something else that you wanted to do? You know how when your mom or dad always ask you, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember
Right.
it was either a lawyer, a doctor, or a
Oh, really?
policeman. Yeah,
For you? You wanted to be a
yeah, for
lawyer?
me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's cool, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that I think every child, and it doesn't matter what part of the world they're actually in, just every child dreams of having a job like that. So uh, definitely something that I was looking to actually do. But
What do you do now, Jay?
well, more so what I do now, I actually work for a construction company.
Okay.
I do that as my main job. It allows me a lot of flexibility to do what I love, which is this show. But also, too, I'm a volunteer firefighter here in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. So
Oh,
that
okay.
allows me to give back to my community even more. So, a couple more aspirations that I have, and a couple of other things that I do. But it's definitely something to just have. Just something
Yeah.
to
Man,
have.
you're like
But
a renaissance man. You're doing it all.
Hey
I'm
guys, how you
trying.
doing?
Hey, what's
Hey,
going
Chris
on? We
is
got Chris
here.
here too. What's
Hi
going on,
guys.
Chris?
Jamil, you okay if I hang out and listen in to you guys,
Of
or
course, of
are you
course.
recording the video or just the audio?
We recording both video and audio.
Then
So
maybe
say
I'll
hi,
mute.
Chris.
Hey out there, everybody. Then I'll mute my video so I'm not on the screen here for you.
Okay, no problem, Chris. That's the man that actually helped the Awesome Show make it happen. You guys, got to give him a shout out because without him, we wouldn't be on the line right now with Bobby. So definitely, Chris, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Jamil. Thanks for everything. We really appreciate it.
It's no problem. It's definitely no problem. So, Bobby, back to that question that dream. What was your dream growing up? Like, what did you really want to be?
I think for me, it's always been art because when I was little, I just drew all the time. I think the thing is too, my father was like a amateur artist. He wasn't that great, but he was pretty good. And especially when I was growing up, I saw him draw like some like designs here and there. And my grandfather is an architect. Okay. So he had a drafting table in the back and he showed me some of that. So I think it was in me from the beginning to be an artist. I praise my mother for allowing me to do that because a lot of people were telling me like, artists don't go anywhere. You're going to be a starving artist. Why would you want to do that?
Wow.
And yeah, especially in the Filipino American community, there seems to be like a big push for engineers and doctors and lawyers and nurses. Huh. Yeah. So for us, that's what you're encouraged to be. Artist wasn't one of them. And so, but like I said, my mother was very encouraging. And so I always wanted to be an artist and I always wanted to tell stories. And I think I got that because I was encouraged when I was in 6th grade. I had a really great teacher, Mr. James Edwards, who allowed myself and several of my buddies to draw comic books or comic images, comic strips.
Okay.
And we would pin them up in our classroom, and then people get to see them every week. As long as we got our grades done, we could do a comic strip and put it up every week. Nice. And for a 6th grader, I felt like a real rock star, like a real comic strip artist, because like all my friends got to see it and they were anticipating what the next comic strip was going to be. So that was fun. So that was my early beginnings.
Nice. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm gonna just make a relative comparison. Amidst everything that's going on, a lot of people wonder about different cultures, different ethnic backgrounds. Do we share similarities? And it's crazy that, in the Filipino culture, they expect you to be certain things, things that hold value from their understanding. Same thing in the African American community. Normally, they expect a couple of different things for you to get into, and it's amazing. It's amazing. These are the things that
like people, just out of curiosity, I'm curious.
Okay, so I'm sure you heard the colloquial. You either you're a basketball player or something that we're not going to say, but something that's really bad. Those are the two ways out of living in a area that's poverty. I mean, quite frankly, but we need to teach our children more and more, for one, that everybody suffers the same consequences. There's not one particular, ethnic background that's different than another. We all go through the same things. And we all make choices in order to choose to display our consequences later on in life. So, especially when we're speaking about, other ethnic backgrounds, we just got to encourage them. You could be anything you want to be. And just quite frankly, just by your statement and explaining everything, there's people out there that will believe in your gift, things that they see in you, like, hey, you know what? As long as y'all do your work, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do a comic strip. We just need more of that all across the globe, every different ethnic background. We just need more people to believe in our children, regardless of what color or where they come from. So I was very, very happy to hear that from you. It opens up ears and it opens up minds about, we're all the same. We're all the same. We're people. We may look a little different, you know, a little lighter, a little darker, but at the end of the day, we're all people. So definitely thank you for sharing that little bit of tidbit about your history.
Well, no problem.
It gave a good perspective from me. Now let's talk about your gifts.
Okay.
Can you tell us how you see your son as a gift and your growth as a man? How has he helped that?
Okay. To me, Alex is, I have 3 sons.
Yes.
And, and so Alex, to me, he's my heart. And he's taught me to patience, because you need it.
Yes.
And he's taught me like to stop and enjoy the moment. And when you have your victories, you celebrate the hell out of them.
Celebrate the hell out of them. Say that again. Say that again, Bobby, for somebody.
Yeah. When you have your victories, you celebrate the hell out of it.
There you go.
They don't come often, but when they do, like I'm sorry, you celebrate that. I mean, I remember, for instance, one of my proudest days was teaching my son to ride a bike. And it was frustrating because it's not a normal child who would like, okay, get back up and do it and try it. Like my son, like I had to be like, Alex, my normal tendency would be to yell at him, but I like had to go like, okay, I know he's in a different place. He's a different child. How do I get through to him? But at the same time, I also don't want to be like too lenient, because there's a fine line I think we have to carry, at least for me. That's my perspective. Like I still want him to learn and be able to stand on his own, but I got to make sure that there's some kind of safety net just in case he falls.
Exactly.
But I do definitely try to encourage him to keep on trying. Like I'm not going to do it all for him. I can't do it all for him because I'm not going to always be there.
Exactly.
So yes, my son is my gift. He has opened my eyes to the possibilities of love, of understanding.
There you go.
And there's things that you won't. There's things that Jay and I understand.
Yes.
And there are other people out there who know what we're talking about. Like it's a deeper thing. It really
so deep.
is.
It's so deep.
Yeah. Like, and so I didn't realize that until I had my son. And it's different. It's different, but it's wonderful and it's awesome. And some of us, those that are listening to right now, understand what we're talking about.
Exactly. It's something that you really can't put into words. I thought I've seen everything in my lifetime, just being, you know, a man growing up in you know, not so good circumstances, but you know, I made lemonade out of lemons. But when I had my son and you know, just growing up and him being diagnosed and me actually submitting to the diagnosis and really just opening my heart to who he is as an individual, it's something to today that drives me. It drives me so much to do the things like this show and to be able to speak to other parents. It's carelessness, you know. I just want to make sure people understand the love that they actually have as being an awesome father or even an awesome mother. They don't understand what they inherit from God. So it's good to hear that from you, because we connect on that level. You know, people may not know, and that's great, because I want them to understand that they got to dig a little deeper. They have to ask these questions. They have to inquire with someone that they may see that has autism or a parent or caregiver and be like, hey, can I ask you some questions? This is the only way we're going to get to learn. So it was definitely a good thing hearing.
I'm glad you said that, because like I hate hearing people getting emails of of family of fathers or mothers or families just having a difficult time with their child because they want that child to interact with other children, but other children won't play with their kids because they're scared or they're not too sure that how to handle the situation. And
Mm-hmm.
and and I like what you said, just go up and talk.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Just a simple question.
Yeah. It doesn't take that much.
Exactly.
And like, get to know that person, and then, then you just and play with them and interact.
That's it.
Um, yeah, and be part of that person's life. It's as simple as that.
It
And I'm
is.
sure if there's certain things that the parents will say, like, okay, maybe not too loud, then there's things that the things you have to just adjust. But there's adjustments with everybody.
It is. It is.
So yeah,
You're
yeah,
you're you're absolutely right. We have to adjust to changes in society every single day. Things
mhm,
that don't go our way during an average day, we have
right,
to adjust. So why not adjust when it comes to our children, our awesome children?
exactly.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Moving along here because I know you're a busy man. We got a couple things. I'm a bounce
Okay.
around. No, no problem. We chopping it up. We got a little
Okay.
history, so we definitely doing good. But I want to bounce around to some key points that I definitely want people to hear from your perspective.
Okay.
So just thinking about where you were at when you heard the diagnosis of your son,
Mhm.
that he was on the spectrum. Can you tell us what emotions you felt at that time?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't in a good place. I didn't handle it really well. I was terrible at it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really terrible at it because I think you got to understand that for a person who never had a child with special needs or on autism, is that I think we, like all of us, we didn't expect it. Like we were like just like, all right, it's gonna be a typical kid, and I'm gonna do the same things that I do with my kids. And you imagine this life that you were gonna have, like you already planned it. Like, all right, man, my kid's gonna like ride a bike. I'm gonna teach him how to throw a
Yep.
ball. I'm gonna
Yep.
like I'm gonna do all this cool dad stuff with him, and like it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be really cool. And then the diagnosis comes down, and I think part of the scariest thing for me, especially, was the unknown, because in autism it's a spectrum and it's wide.
It's wide, very wide. You are correct.
It's wide. So I don't know where my son where he is on the spectrum. I don't know if he's gonna need a whole lot of help or or just some help.
Yeah.
And like for me, I tend to be more pessimistic, especially
Okay.
back then. So
Okay. You keeping it real. You keeping
yeah,
it
yeah,
real. Good.
and I was expecting full autism and like okay, how am I gonna pay for this? How am I gonna like, what's he gonna be like uh, as far as like his schooling and social status and how my family gonna think about this and 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 um and actually I went through all that and it got to the point where my wife was like saying you probably should see somebody because
Wow. Okay.
I I was not good. My wife
Wow.
my wife was actually the strong one in
Mm-hmm.
our family unit.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember one time. So I just want to share this with the family
Definitely.
out there, that because if you were going through what I was going through, look at me now, I'm fine. But
Yeah.
I was there. I remember my wife was like, you really it's you either have to get a handle of this or you got to go.
Wow. Hey,
Because
that's real. Yo, listen,
yeah, yeah,
for you to share that, first off, shout out to your wife,
yeah,
because
yeah.
people don't understand that when you have just life happening and then you get a diagnosis like this, especially as a man, I think we definitely do connect on that because I was there too.
Mhm.
And men won't really, admit that. They won't really admit that. And for you to have a strong woman that just basically say, yo, I need you here, sort of like, wake up. I need you here. I
Yeah,
need you focused. I need
yeah,
you
yeah,
to take care of the household.
yeah, yeah.
You need to get your act together is an amazing thing. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, me and my son's mother, we became a statistic, quote unquote. We divorced
Okay.
because not because of our son, but
Mm.
just because we let other problems topple on of
Uh,
the miracle that we had, and that was our son. So
right.
I do understand exactly what you are speaking about, and I applaud her. I applaud you for just being real just now, just being open, because there will be a father that
Yeah.
will hear this.
Yeah.
They hear from me all the time, but they be like, he's just doing it for the camera. But
Yeah.
now, all the way across the country, different ethnic background,
Mhm.
a different occupation, we
Right.
share the same thing. So we're
Mhm.
saying this because it
Yeah.
happens, man.
Yeah.
Step up and talk about,
Yeah.
your feelings. Process this is going to be hard, but there's help out there to help you do so.
There is. There is. I actually sought help. I did that. I think that helped. I needed to get it. It's like you said, you just got to get it off your chest.
Yeah.
And I saw my therapist, and the thing that I kept on doing, and probably some people out there doing it too, is I kept future casting. That's what she said.
Oh,
Like
wow.
you you can't. She's like, you cannot predict the future. And I was like, yeah, but what if he has this, or like I what if the yellow bus comes and he's gonna be in a small yellow bus? What if I
Uh-huh.
have to it sucks to think that way.
But it's the fears. It's the
It
fears
is.
that us father have.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like what if he'll never talk? What if like just mentally he's not there and I'm gonna have to really help him out. I that's the scope of the spectrum. You don't know.
You don't.
You don't know. And you
You
know
don't.
what? I do remember I said this to one of my employees because I was freaking out.
Okay.
I was like, what if my son's not smart, man?
Wow.
What if he's not like a rocket scientist or something? And
Hmm.
he turned to me and he was like, Bobby, you're not a rocket scientist. So
Oh, what are you talking about?
yeah. So it kind of put things in perspective. Like, okay, he'll find his way,
Yeah,
no matter what.
no matter what.
No
Your
matter what.
child, you're listening out there, you listen to
Yeah,
me
yeah,
and Bobby,
yeah.
he or she will find their way,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And
Definitely.
like you just gotta believe in that. And
Yes.
like you gotta let all that BS behind because you can't predict the future.
Nope.
I can't. I don't.
Nope.
But I kept running in cycles. I kept on going, what's good? What am I gonna do with this? What am I gonna do with that? What if this happens? What if that happens? And like, Bobby, you gotta let that go.
You got to.
You really
You
have to
have to.
let that go.
You have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Definitely a great perspective. I'm gonna get into a little bit about Float, Disney Pixar.
Okay.
You guys can go ahead and see it on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus, correct?
Yes.
Definitely
Streaming on
check
Disney
that
Plus
out.
right
So
now.
let's talk a little bit about that. I'm
Okay.
gonna try to get in two more questions, this one and another one before I
Okay.
let you go.
Okay.
But why Float? Why in a why did you feel that you needed to share your story like this? What motivated you? Because Disney is familiar, with children all across the world, different scenarios, problems. But why did you feel as though, hey, I need to put myself on the line and just share it with the world?
The interesting thing is, like, we didn't know that it was gonna go out to the world.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. So part of me was like, okay, I'm gonna get this one chance to direct something, um, and I want to say something, and like I don't want to do something stupid and silly, um, and so I already had an idea, which was Float, which was this comic book idea about this father dealing with a son that's different and he floats, and like so I I've been sitting on this story for it was 8 or 10 years on it
Wow.
because
Wow.
like I could, you know what, honestly I could not face it and do that story 10 years ago.
Wow.
Really couldn't. And so like I think what it did was is like I just I was like I'm gonna tell the story no matter what, and I was gonna and I had to get it out of me. I had to get it out, and I was just lucky and fortunate that I believe I was at the right place and right time. because I had it done. I was working on it, and then it just happened to be the Spark Shorts program came up, and
Wow.
and I pitched it to our to Lindsay Collins, our executive producer, and she thought it was perfect for it. But I had no intention from the beginning was not to make a Spark Short. The beginning was just for me to get this out. I had to get this out. My son's 13 years old now.
Wow, big boy.
So, yeah. So when he was first diagnosed, he was 2.5, 3. And
Okay.
like I would have been sitting on this story forever. And I didn't want it to be like, oh, I should have done it. Like
yeah.
And it's funny because I did it and like I didn't know if it was gonna go out in the world. But I knew if it did, I knew that some people would relate to it. And I was really surprisingly shocked and deeply touched by all the people who have contacted me, who've told me that it's resonated with them.
Yes.
I've especially love or appreciate the families that contacted me whose child has just got diagnosed.
Yeah.
And they're like, Bobby, I'm in there right now. And you don't know how much this movie means to me because it spoke to me. I thought I was alone. And now I see this short about this father who's struggling with a child that's different. And I feel seen and I don't feel alone. And I am so grateful for that.
Wow.
I am so grateful for the short to be there for them. Because I know for myself, when I was at my lowest, I had a few people that came into my life that helped me to get myself back up. And if float is one of those things that help a family out there, then my job's done, and I am so happy and proud of it because of that.
Wow. Definitely, Bobby. Listen, you don't understand the gift you have given to the world by basically being transparent and placing the story, your thoughts, your mindset onto the screen for yourself to be exposed out there. You really gave hope to not only the autism community, but to me personally. I can be strong, but there are days where I feel like, you know what? Am I really doing enough for my son? Am I doing enough for others? What can I be doing more? Right. How would my son be when my time is coming? I leave this planet. There's so many things, but just seeing that story makes me realize that there was someone else that thought about it, put it out there as a blueprint, and basically told us, don't worry about it. Everything is going to be fine. You are being blessed with something. So definitely something amazing. I know we're out of town. Me and you, we chop it up very, very much. It's crazy. It's like we known each other for years.
Right.
And once again, it's crazy. It's amazing. You know what? Like I said before, when we interviewed you and Erica on the Ben and Jay show, you are family. You are definitely family.
Yeah, no, man. I feel like family here for sure.
Exactly. And it's just, it's amazing, man. So for you in a short amount of time and the questions that we got out, you opened up so much. And people just need to realize that they are not alone. Mm-hmm. This is not something that hits a particular region of the world or a specific ethnic culture. Autism knows no boundaries.
Right.
So we need to come together knowing the boundaries.
Yeah, Jay, because I want to commend you too as well. I mean, dude, like I know you're taking your time to like get this out there to our communities and for them to have a place, a resource to feel like they belong. And man, I know it's tough and you're
it is.
and thank you.
But
like, yeah, because it's, you know what? And also to the father and mother that's out there right now, like I think it's a process, it's a journey. I think Jay and I are further along in our process. I don't expect to be here next week.
No, no,
Like,
no. It's a
gonna
slow
take time.
process.
It's a slow process.
It's a slow process, but we are
Yeah.
definitely here to help.
Yes.
And it's God has given me the ability to do this. And before I leave the planet, just like you, I'm gonna leave a paper trail for my son to be able to realize what his dad actually did. So that's my thing. But we're out of time. Bobby, thank you. I don't want to keep you too long. My man Chris in the background, thank you again, Chris, for allowing this to happen. It's the Awesome Show, everybody.
It's the awesome show.
Check it out. Float. Disney, Pixar, Disney Plus. Go see it. All right. Peace. Thank you, guys.
Cool.